Hey, what's up? Mutantville Players YouTube channel. This is just a quick little vlog. As you can see, I am back in the car driving, commuting from my home in Albemarle to my workplace, my sometimes workplace in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I always try to utilize the trip to drop some profound ism on you for the Mutantville YouTube channel, along with our regular content that comes through mutantville.com. I think there's kind of a new push right now to have something new every single day of the week, at least 5 days of the week, on youtube.com/Mutantville Players channel. So that's what this is all about. Now, you've heard about my thoughts about Oblivion this week. You've heard about my thoughts on the Hemlock Grove series, Defiance, and the GoPro Hero 3 Black camera, which I'm filming this with, as well as Brento's Budget Filmmaking Podcast. So it's been a big media blitz week for me, but there has been actually a lot going on, a lot of thoughts come into the mind of Johnny Brento. So I'm just, as the opportunity presents itself to record little ramblings, I'll do that, and those will become vlogs on the site. So this is my second vlog. Interesting that 14 people listened to my vlog yesterday. So, you know, if that many folks are tuning in, then yeah, it's worthwhile. So yeah, and I actually had a message on Facebook today that someone found that engaging somehow, but okay, that's cool. I'll take what I can get. Any exposure for mutantville.com is good exposure. So it's nearing the end of April. I guess today's April 24th, 23rd, 24th, something like that. And getting ready to lay out plans for our summer promotional tour with Mutantville, good old Strebo and Geo. Once again, heading to the Fright Night Film Festival and Fandom Convention in Louisville, Kentucky. This time, something is going to be different in that yours truly might actually make the trip with them. Now, back in the day when we first started doing horror conventions, we had we went very far afield to these things, Indianapolis, Maryland, and those were some just profound drives. But back during that time, you know, as new filmmakers, we were really hungry, and we were less jaded, I guess, to the realities of no-budget filmmaking. And I remember those trips fondly, although there were definitely some trying times, because, you know, money was always tight and we were doing just crazy stuff. Oh my God, I remember one trip in particular where I think there was like maybe 6 of us in a car, and the same 6 people split a room. And two of the gals had just started working with us and were just new as, you know, friends of MVP, and they helped us out on Ghost. And so, you know, just to be nice, we Geo and Strebo and myself, I think it was Geo, I'm not sure, let them have the bed, and for all 3 nights we were there, and I gotta be honest with you, it wasn't Geo, it was Jason Wheely went with us. Okay, yeah. And the several nights in a row, you know, there was one day sleeping going, you know, in a car, in a van. So if you're not driving, you're just trying to sleep in the van. And then, you know, the 2 days there, sleeping on the floor. And I'll never forget the second night I got up to go to the bathroom, and I was just so discombobulated from having slept on a flat, hard floor that I got up and just smacked right into the corner. Fortunately, I've got a really hard head, and it didn't hurt me too bad. But it was just like it was like right in that spot, sort of between the eyebrows, that will give you a headache if anything hits it. And man, I'll never forget that. And I thought, wait a minute, why am I on the floor? I'm paying like an equal share in this room. But you know, it's just the hunger to go and the hunger to do and be involved in these horror conventions that put us all there. And you know, I mean, to his credit, Strebo has never lost that hunger. You know, I'll be honest, I have. Prior to the Mad Monster Party happening and, you know, coming to be here in Charlotte, I had just about decided that I wasn't going to go to any more horror conventions. I had my little fandom experience at the first or second one we went to by meeting Michael Gross. You know, Tremors being my favorite movie, and you know, him and a few others, and you know, I went and spent my money. And nowadays, like I rarely even pay for autographs or photographs, because for me that's not, you know, that's not what it's about. Usually in this era for us, it's just about promotion of whatever we're making or whatever. But some folks are still, you know, like it's the golden experience for them, you know, meeting Bruce Campbell or whoever. Although I will say that if I get to attend this this Fright Night, Gillian Anderson's somebody I wouldn't mind having a photograph with, because I am a huge fan of X-Files going way back. But there just really aren't that many franchises that it's just that big of a deal for me to go and take. And plus, this became so commercialized, and just with the paying, you know, paying for an autograph, I've never minded that. Paying for a photo, yeah. You know, I mean, you got to be Bruce Campbell, or, you know, or bigger, pretty much, for me to want to pay for an autograph with you. But I know I'm in a minority. A lot of folks do that, you know, and these folks are going out and making 120 grand on a weekend, and that's crazy money, you know. And I'm just, you know, I would rather spend my money on things that are real, that I can take home, posters and action figures, or, you know, figurines, whatever. I mean, everybody's different in that regard. I know I'm just meandering, but that's just going to be the style of these vlogs. I'm just spitting fire, you know. Back to our trip, though. That was a fun trip, and at one point, though, I definitely had a big spat with Strebo that was very unpleasant, and you know, I hope that in this, it seems like we're beyond that now, and you know, I was really angry about that for a while, thinking, man, you know, that could have been a nicer trip, and than it was, but then everybody got ill because of the cramped living conditions, and it really was nobody's fault. We just didn't have the money to really go and live it up. So you know, now money is not as tight, at least for me, and that's less of a concern for me this year. So I'm thinking maybe it's time to go make a big long trip with my two partners in Newtonville, and you know, just try to have that experience, but have it a little bit better. You know, experience it in a better way and have a better time. Plus, the Fright Night Film Festival is one of those places that we're allowed to come in as media, and sort of with the cooperation of the promoter, and it's a place where we generate probably 3/4 of the content for the website and Muttonville channel as far as exclusive interviews go for a year. So it's an important thing as far as the operation of the website, and keeping folks interested in coming is all about the content. So if you don't have the content, you know, folks are just gonna get tired of you shilling your own crap, you know. So in that regard, I'm happy to go and contribute, to hold a camera or whatever, you know, for these interviews. So that could be fun. But yeah, so right now I'm looking at it. I got a few little personal details to work out, and hopefully I'll be able to go this year. So that would be wonderful. I think we could go have a really good time, especially if it's not sweltering hot, which it probably will be. But I digress. So, and on that note, you know, we've been having sweltering hot. I don't know if that's on the note of sweltering hot, but you know, on the note of Newtonville stuff, we've been talking more about how we're going to work together in the future. And you know, there was this big announcement that I was stepping away from Newtonville for a bit, and really all I just meant was I'm going to do some projects on my own, not so much I'm stepping away from my contribution to Muttonville.com. And because I still consider myself, and I think those guys feel the same way, I'm still rolling with MVP, you know. But the last couple projects I've done have been with Robert Fillion, and that was fun. That was good too, but it doesn't really replace my relationship with Muttonville or working with those guys. But I think what it does do is lend some credence to you know, what I might be able to contribute to, you know, Muttonville projects. And I know it's maybe created some hard feelings, but I think at the end of the day, it's made us stronger as a group to know that more than one person can write and direct. And you know, that's just maybe Strebo wouldn't back me up on that, but that's just my feeling on it. And that said, I do miss that certain camaraderie that we got to find a way to get this done. When I'm working with I've worked with Robert on these last two. It was two different kinds of projects. And one project basically was like, more or less Robert was doing me a favor, and then in another one, we were helping somebody else out. So it's like, in the case of my project, take that, I'm the guy responsible for coming up with all the money, making sure people are, fed and taken care of. And with Mosaic, that duty went to somebody else. So it's still a different kind of experience. But one thing I will say about Mutantville is that when we have a project, especially a feature film, everybody kicks in. I mean, like the three of us are there carrying gear. I mean, there are no egos about that with Mutantville, which is great. So I would like to work in that environment eventually again, and hopefully it'll happen. This is kind of our scripting year where we're both working on scripts. Drebo and I are working on scripts. And then maybe next year or the year after will be a shooting year. It's always going to be interesting to see what we've taken away from these smaller projects and things that we've done with various people, and how that works out in the shaping of future MVP projects. And of course, I'm looking for my shades, and they're nowhere to be found. It's a sunny day here in North Carolina, for sure. Better put this cruise control on, or it'll take me 2 hours to get here, man. There we go. 60. Yay, yay. Turn that cruise control button on. Hit this button. Was using the wrong side. I have been keeping an eye on this project that Matthew Ewald is up for a part in, called Space Command, and realized that some of the folks involved with that have been involved both in writing and production of several of my favorite science fiction related projects, and so I'm pretty excited about that. As of yesterday, when I watched a video, that they do a great job of explaining who they are and what they've worked on and whatnot, so it'll be interesting to see. But I noticed that the guy that wrote it was one of the writers of Time and The World and Time Enough, which is a George Takei episode of the Star Trek Phase 2, which is a fan-made Star Trek, which really rivals the quality of the TV version. And I would say that particular episode, if you search for Star Trek Phase 2, you'll find their website, and you'll be able to find this World and Time Enough episode. I would say that episode of Star Trek, in Phase 2, was as good as anything that ever came on TV. So I was very excited to hear that Matthew might be getting to work with these folks, and him being a Mutantville player, Mutantville alum. I sure hope he gets that part, because I think it would be perfect for him, knowing how big he is into sci-fi, and I always like to see anyone we've worked with doing well. Well, gosh, I'm running out of things to talk about. So I guess I'll cap this off and just say that stay tuned for more vlog-type entries and daily content on Mutantville.com. And, of course, you can always check out my solid schedule of articles, which is going to be on Wednesdays, Johnny Brento's Juju, which will just typically be a recap of what I'm doing as relates to Mutantville for the week. And then also Fridays with MVP, which would be my suggestion for things that genre fans can do for the weekend, upcoming films or screenings. And I still don't know what this week's Fridays with MVP is going to be. And it's actually Wednesday today, but you're getting this on Thursday. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to be promoting, but I do know that I have recorded a in-depth review of Oblivion. And if anything else, I'll post that up for my Fridays with MVP, because I'll tell you what, that movie was great. If you didn't see it last weekend, I'll perhaps even recommend that you go out and see it again this weekend, or take this opportunity to see it for the first time, because that was quite an excellent sci-fi film, and we love sci-fi here at MVP. Anyways, thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you soon on Mutantville.com.